Hi there. We're continuing our journey through the Psalms, the Tehillim, the praises in Hebrew, and we're starting the third book of the Psalms, the Sefer Shalishi, the third book, with Psalm 73. In the Hebrew letter numbering system, that's Samech Gimel. Samech is 70 and Gimel is 3. And this series of Psalms we're coming into, we've been very much in Psalms of David, often that have begun Lamnaser to the director of music. But now we're into Psalms, and some of these are of Asaph, and some of them are the sons of Korah, this book of Psalms. And Asaph was one of the worship leaders in the Tabernacle of David. And these are Psalms, many of them written by Asaph, or in the style of Asaph. And in this first one, Asaph starts by a statement. He says, God is really good to Israel and to those whose hearts are clean, but I'm really struggling. And this is the first part of the psalm is really a struggle, saying, God, how is it? How is it that the evil prospers so much? I'm actually having trouble with it. My foot's almost giving way in this. I'm I'm tripping up on this, God. The fact that the evil, the proud, they seem to have such a good time. They get the best bits of the meat. They get the best seats at the feasts. And what are we going to do about this? What are you going to do about this, God? They seem to live painlessly. We seem to suffer, but they don't seem to have any struggles with life, and they're not. They wear their pride, he says, like a jeweled necklace, and actually they're full of Hamas is the word he uses, interesting in Hebrew, violence, cruelty. They said they've got everything they want for everything they ever wish for. The only thing they do is they try and crush others when they speak. They even turn their pride against heaven, and they say what does God know? What does God know? And does the Most High even bother with what's happening? And people are being derailed because these are people with big mouths and big influences, and people's lives are being derailed because of it. So Asaph here is the singer is really struggling with this whole situation, and he's saying, should I bother even staying clean? Should I bother keeping my hands clean, God? Because it looks as though the wicked are prospering so much, while I get trouble and pain all day long. And then he says, I tried to understand this. I tried to understand why the godless seem to be doing so well. And I really struggle to do it, he says in verse 16. I really can't understand it. But then, he says, the thing turns around in verse 17. And he says, but then I went into your holy place. Then I sought your presence, God, and I came before you. And then it all became very clear. Finally understood the transience, the just how ephemeral these people are, that they think that they're going to last forever, but actually they're not going to last forever. They are mortal, they are human, they are going to, if you like, go over the edge of eternity. They will be swept away in the same way. They will die, just like everyone dies. And you, Lord, you really have them in derision, their idea that they're going to last forever, that somehow their pride is going to give them immortality. But you just hold that's like a dream. It says that's like a dream that just disappears with the dawn. And then he turns to his own heart and he says, I was so silly. I was so arrogant. He said, I must have looked like a behemoth, like an animal to you, God. I must have seemed like senseless. And then he comes into these beautiful lines from verse 23. I still belong to you. You hold my right hand. You guide me with your counsel. You lead me with your counsel. You lead me, and then you lead me to glory. And afterwards it says, I will come into glory. So there's this looking forward that with God there is a future, there is a purpose, but it's in God, not in myself. And then he says, who have I got in heaven? Who is there who will stand for us? Who can I connect with in the beyond, in the transcendent, apart from you? I desire you more than anything else on the earth. This desire for God's presence. And suddenly he's in a place, or gradually he comes to that place of realizing that what he sees around him, the material and the pride of men, is nothing compared to the glory, the transcendence, the beauty, the awesomeness of God. And he says, my heart may fail, my strength may fail, but this one thing is true: you are the strength of my heart, and you are my inheritance forever. Those who desert you are lost. But as for me, your closeness, kravah in Hebrew, kravah Adonai, the closeness of God is what he really desires. And he says, I've made the sovereign God my shelter, machasi, the place where I run to, the refuge I go to. And because of that, I'm going to say how great you are, how wonderful you are. What a turnaround in this song then there is. This song that spends the first half so complaining so much about the prosperity of those who don't seem to know God, but then the last part of it, the second part of it, just so warm and tender towards God, realizing that it's not about the material things we have, but about the glory that God offers us, and that he is the strength of our hearts. I'm going to do something unusual. I haven't done much, if at all, in these videos. I'm just going to sing the last part of this. It's an old song, but it just came to me as I was reading this psalm, and I'm just going to sing it. You can sing it along with me if you know it. It's putting in song the words of the end part of this psalm. Whom have I in heaven but you? There is nothing I desire beside you. My heart and my flesh, many times they fail, but there is one thing that always shall prevail. God is the strength of my heart. God is the strength of my heart. God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever. Yes, God is the strength of my heart. God is the strength of my heart. God is the strength of my heart and my portion forever, forever. May God be your strength and your portion today. Have a good day.